Hi guys, it's Rios from Cut Academy here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to recover blown out skies. So when you've got grey or white skies because you've overexposed, I'm going to be showing you how you can recover some of the detail in the skies and get a dramatic look in your skies as well. First thing we want to do is go over to our clip and right click and click nest. This is just going to preserve the clip so that any changes we make, we've still got it kind of wrapped in this little nest. So if you double click here, you have access to the original clip. Once you've nested the clip, you're going to press down Alt and drag the clip upwards to create a duplicate. Turn off the visibility on this layer here that we've stacked on top. Turn that off. Click on our little nest here, and we're going to adjust the highlights and this so that the sky looks how we want it to. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring down these highlights quite a bit, probably about -90. And then we're going to bring down the exposure a little bit as well. You can see a lot more of that definition coming back in the clouds. That's kind of how we want it to look. Actually, I'll bring down the contrast a touch, get a bit more going on there, and shift it blue by, say, -5. I'm going to put a bit of pink in there just because that's something I like to do for my colors. And for the shadows, we can bring these down a little bit. Bring the whites to about -10 I'm going to go for. So basically all I'm doing is working through these settings until the sky looks good. Ignore these two subjects completely and just get it so that your sky is looking how you want it to. So this is quite a dramatic look right here. The only other thing you might want to do is come to the color wheels and just adjust the highlights slightly so you get a bit more of a color in your sky. So in this case, I'm going to go for maybe a slightly pinkish look. Now, obviously, we need these subjects to also be lit correctly. So what we're going to do is make this layer visible here, and we're going to come over to opacity. We're going to click on the free draw Bezier tool, and once you've done that, a mask is going to pop up here. Now all we need to do is draw a mask around our subjects so that we can kind of cut them out from the background and control the effects we have on them separately. And we're just going to loosely select him, and remember you can adjust these points afterwards, so you don't have to get it too precise. Just kind of loosely get the outline and we'll go from there. So as you can see, I'm just roughly selecting. So as you can see, I've just tweaked it a little bit and I'm pretty happy with that for this model. I'm just going to quickly go ahead and mask the other model here. So we're just going to create another mask by clicking on the free draw Bezier tool, and we're going to select the other model. Now we've got two masks on both of our subjects, and what we're going to do is just feather these masks a little bit to make it less noticeable. So I'm just going to drag my feather up to about, let's have a look, probably between 70 and 90. I'm going to go for 80, and as you can see, look, it's much smoother around the subject. Now you can see it's kind of just blurred out that line. The mask opacity we can leave at 100 for now. Expansion, I'm actually going to draw this back a bit because as you can see, we drew our mask a little bit wider than our character, than our subject, sorry. So let's just drag the expansion down. I think about -20 is pretty good. Now we're going to do the same for the other model as well. I'm going to drag that feather right up to about 80 and then drag the expansion down. Cool. Now as you can see, we've actually selected our two models here, and now we can also play with the effects on these separately from the background. So as you can see, I can control them autonomously now. So I'm just going to bump up the exposure a touch, bring up the highlights, and just kind of counteract a little bit of what we've done to the skies so that we still have solid exposure on them. So we can bring up the whites a bit, we can increase the contrast, definitely, bring that to about 60 I'm going to go for. We can bring down the blacks a bit as well, maybe go to like -35, and the shadows can come down a bit as well. As you can see, it looks much better than it did before. So what we're going to do now is just to quickly make sure that we are keeping those masks in the right place. We're just going to do a bit of tracking. So in order to do this, all we have to do is press the track selected mask forward for mask 1 first, and all it's going to do is track, and as you can see, it's plotting those points on the graph here. So as you can see, we've just tracked that mask and it's put all these points on our grid here. And if we click on this mask, we can see that now we actually follow the movement of our models so that the mask is going to kind of be a bit more accurate. You're not going to notice it as much. We can do the same for our second model as well. Just press track selected mask forward as well. So if we look at our clip here, you can see we've got our well exposed models, and the sky has also got a lot of dramatic definition in it. Let's compare this to the original. As you can see, look at the difference that's made. Whereas before, our subjects were underexposed maybe, or a little bit kind of, they were almost correctly exposed, but the background was massively blown out, so it just doesn't look good at all. And now this is a usable shot that we can actually use here. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I hope it helps you fix those exposure issues and get a more dramatic look for your skies. I know color grading can be a pain sometimes, so I've put together a pack of LUTs that will help you get quick and easy grades in Premiere or other software that you can go ahead and download over on my website. The link will be in the description, and I'll put a link on the screen. Please go ahead and check that out. Make your life much easier when you're color grading, and please leave a comment below as to what other stuff you'd like to see from me. I'll be making tutorials like this far more often, so feel free to leave a suggestion below. Thanks guys, this is Riaz signing off.